everyone, and welcome. Whether it's up, down, or around the block, it is 6:30, which means it's time for the weekly Block Coaches Show. And today we welcome CMR Track and Field and assistant coach Bryce Kushin. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
Okay, perfect. We're 1-0. We're off to a great start. So, yes, and for those of you that don't do YouTube or Facebook Live or any up-to-date ways of consuming media, we do a replay on Real Country 104 every Wednesday at 7 o'clock, thanks to the folks at Real Country. So that means there's several ways that you can enjoy the Coaches Show. And for those of you watching live, then you can submit your questions, answers, concerns, comments through the comments section of either the YouTube or Facebook Live. But, man, we had like a whole thing of sports ready to go last week, and then all of it got like canceled or rescheduled. We did have Icebreaker yesterday, one of the coldest icebreakers that we've had. But the one important thing that we did do was we finally had the first ever crosstown baseball game, which went to CMR and the Rustlers. Congratulations, right. Forever bragging rights. I mean, that was it was an event. I'm not going to say that was a game because it was 16-1.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's so many things that had to go into that even happening. And so here we are. We've got baseball now. The last first crosstown is what I've called it. And we'll see. I mean, there's girls flag football. There's always lacrosse. There's always hockey. So there could be a few more. But, I mean, as far as the big four, you know, that we have, that's the one that we were kind of missing was baseball.
It was, yeah. It's been a long time coming for Great Falls.
Absolutely. So that was a good time. And Icebreaker, do you run?
No.
You're not a runner?
Not a long-distance guy.
I've done it twice, and I really love that they have the up to the day of registration, because then you can kind of scope out the weather and see what it's going to do.
Yeah.
And I had a feeling it was going to be a bitter cold icebreaker. They try to get you with that early bird pricing, like, hey, you want to pay less?
Yep.
Let's get you signed up now. And I have friends that ran yesterday, and they were like, it was brutal. So props to everybody that ran Icebreaker. It's a great run. It's beautiful. I've done the 5 mile every time. But I do pick and choose my Icebreaker. If it's sunny and it's truly spring, I will run, and you know, and that's just the way that I am. I'm a fair weather runner. But we're here to talk track, and shout out to Caden Neal, the first ever crosstown baseball player of the game. We have all sports this week: tennis, track and field, baseball, softball. Even the electric basketball team is back home this weekend, and that's of course weather pending.
Yes.
So, how did you come into the fold of being a track coach? Because you're an assistant by official title, but really track doesn't have like a head coach and then assistants. You all have like your areas of expertise, right?
Yep. So I coached 4 years ago, and then COVID happened. And then I coached the pole vault the year after that. And that was a interesting thing in itself.
I imagine, yeah.
So then I took 2 or 3 years off, and then Greeny just kept harping on me to come back. And then this year I decided it was time.
Yeah.
Yep. We also have a wedding to pay for, so that extra stipend is nice.
Congratulations on that. When's the date?
June 27th.
June? Wow. Okay, it's coming up. Yeah. You better get that coaching bonus.
Yeah.
So what area is your expertise in then? Still pole vault or?
No, that's Donister now.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Don, he's working the pole vault.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have some sprinters. I work the blocks, and then I work the 4x4 relay.
Okay. Now, is that all based on your experience, or if you've done track, then you kind of know all of them, so we're just going to throw you in where we need you?
Yeah, that was when I did track. I was a sprinter, so that was more of my specialty. So it was easier to hop into there and work with those guys, so I'm more comfortable there.
So what were the pole vault years like? Like, hey, so you take the thing and then you know, run, stick, and then hopefully.
Yeah, it was a lot of YouTube before practice. Hey, all right, what kind of drills do we need to do? But it was fun. It's a good learning experience. I think everybody should do that. When you're becoming a coach, is step out into a specialty that you don't know and just learn it, because it helps you become a better coach.
I'm so glad you said that, because I would be a coach by YouTube.
Yeah.
Like that would be how I would teach others, is how YouTube taught me.
Yeah. Like I had never done it before. So I was like, all right, I have nothing to go off of. So let's just YouTube and see what kind of drills we can find. It worked out okay, I think.
I don't think you could find a more complicated event in track and field, though, to have to do that for than pole vault, because it's not like discus, it's not like javelin or shot put. We have dedicated afternoons to just pole vault to
Yes.
get through them.
Oh yeah.
Like, so you definitely climbed a mountain there. I applaud you for that.
Yeah.
But now you found your home with the sprinters and blocks and things of that nature. And you work with some great athletes. I know a few. I've talked with Emerson before. He's a great runner.
Yep.
So so much of track, and we've talked about this with cross country too. It's not you necessarily against really anybody else. I mean, obviously we have the races and you have, the high jump and who can jump higher, who can pole vault higher, but it's you against yourself.
Correct.
More than anything. So when you guys start a season, how do you guys figure out those goals that you ultimately want them to achieve to continue to compete against yourself?
Yeah, I mean, you got to start somewhere. So, when you're going into that first track meet, you're just seeing what we can do and then how we build from there. So, every kid's going to get their time. All right, now how do we improve from there? It's such a mental sport where it's, you're competing against others, but also every day you're competing against yourself. So how are you going to make those steps to improve every single day?
Because at the end of the season, there is a team for both men's and women's classes, AA, B, and C, that will win, state track. But, your guys' duels and meets throughout the season, the team wins and losses really have no bearing on the setup for that, like it would in a normal sport.
No, I mean, you're just shooting, because every event has that qualifying standard and, that's what you're shooting for. And then, hopefully you get there and then you can build off of that. But team scores, I mean, it's important in the end, but it's really the individual success that matters in those smaller meets.
So how often do the state qualifiers change? Because somebody said, I think every year that they can change.
I think it changed 2 years ago. They redid the standards, but I don't think it changes too often.
Okay. I was going to say, because I feel like the standard has to be kind of agreed upon, and then it's got to be something where not everybody can get it, but you want it to be attainable enough where it's not going to discourage people that may be doing track and field for the first time.
Yeah.
So there's a sweet spot. You got to find that one. But then you have your tenured athletes who know what it is and they can hit it right away. How do you get them to continue to want to better themselves as the season goes on if they qualify early?
Well, I think you just got to push them and put it in their mind like, hey, all right, you have qualified. Well, now do you just want to be a qualifying person, or do you want to be on the podium when it comes to state? Do you want to be the state champion? You got to keep pushing towards those kind of things.
What's the most common pushback you get from an athlete that qualifies early?
Well, I've already qualified in this event, so what if I go and just work on these other 4, so I don't have to get as many reps here? No, not quite, but yeah.
Yeah, we're all in all the time. You don't get to just be like the buy-in and then the blind and whatever. You have that all in. I know poker analogies, but that's the best that I can think of right now. So you have these athletes that want to do multiple sports, multiple events, I should say. What's the hardest one to encourage somebody to want to do? Because I mean, when I'm at track meets, I get pulled in a million different directions. It's you want to be there for the photo finish of the sprints because those are always the fun races, and there's always going to be those one heats that come right down to it. But then you don't want to miss out on the qualifying shot put throw or the javelin throw, and so you've got to be here, there, everywhere. So is there events that if somebody does one type that you try to get them to steer away from because it's difficult to do both at a meet, or does it really just depend on how it's ran?
Yeah, I think it depends on how it's ran. And I also think it depends on the kid, like you got like Emerson who will go run the 2 mile and then he's going to hop into the 4x4, so like that's tough stuff to do, but not everybody can do that.
Yep. Well, as far as your athletes that you brought today, we've got Ethan Young, Emerson Hama. What is special about those two?
I just think their work ethic, you always just see them out there, and Emerson could just run for days. He doesn't stop. We're always out there like, how far did you run today? And he just keeps going and going and going and going. And Ethan, he'll try anything. I mean, was hurdling, he's sprinting, he's back at the high jump today. Tomorrow he's going to be in the long jump, So I think that's good for those younger kids to see is you just got to go try things, right? You got to come out of your comfort zone. You got to go try things, and you never know what you're going to be successful at, but you got to go and try it because you're never going to know until you try it.
Well, I know for me, I fall into the I guess it would be called the stereotyping of certain athletes. Where if you're basketball, I'm just like, okay, so you're probably a high jumper because that's, or a long jumper, a triple jumper.
You would think.
You would think, right? Football players, it's like, all right, go to the pits, like your shot put, your javelin, your discus, and then your wide receivers. Okay, go do sprints and maybe not so much long distance, but. How often do you see them fall into those respected categories, I guess?
I mean, I don't think you're far off with it. I think the coaches push kids to general areas. Obviously, Coach Wilson wants all of his guys sprinting. We need to get faster, so he obviously pushes them to be sprinters. Sislo, he loves when his guys are throwers because it works on their footwork. So he loves when guys are going out there and throwing the disc and the shot. But I think everybody needs to sprint. Everybody needs to get it a little bit faster. We make the big guys do it. It's good for them.
Yeah, there is the what is it? The annual big man run at the end of each crosstown.
Yep, they'll do that relay.
Hilarious. Yeah, I love that relay. It's so funny to watch those guys. Is there ever been an event that somebody was very adamant about pursuing that I just don't think that you're going to be happy with the results?
Yeah, I mean, that does happen, but you're going to let them do it and just kind of see how it goes. And, then after we can reflect on it and say, all right, how'd it go? And, hopefully they're open and honest about it. And then maybe we can steer them in a different direction, or we just keep pushing that one.
Yeah. Like people that are like, I want to do the, 400 relay or the, one of the long runs. It's just like, well, how often do you run currently? Not at all. I don't really think that's going to be the event for you.
Yeah.
Let's wade into that pool. Let's baby step it here maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
There's a lot of athletes that I talk to that are dual sport athletes or multi-sport athletes, and of course track is always the spring one because they're trying to keep in shape and condition themselves for other sports. So in the ranking, track kind of falls toward the bottom. But I've met my share of athletes that are 100% it's all track all the time. Can you spot those?
Oh yeah.
Early on?
Oh yeah.
What's the biggest difference personality wise, I guess?
Well, I mean, we have kids going to play in basketball tournaments on the weekends, or girls going to play 8 volleyball games on the weekend. And then it's like, all right, we're just here at track practice. We're going to get a little bit better. You can kind of see who's really buys into the track and field and who's, there because it's going to help them with basketball, or who's going to help them with volleyball. But, as long as they come and work hard. Yeah,
Greeny couldn't be here today. He's not feeling well. He's just Greeny, though. He's not feeling well could mean that he's feeling a little grumpy. I love talking to him. I love talking to Greeny. I think he's hilarious. He's definitely the last of a dying breed of old school coaches.
Yes,
what's your favorite Greeny-ism? Like, what do you take away from him each year when you coach?
Oh, man. There's so many.
Right?
Just like during football season, he'll just start rattling off something. Like he'll get mad at a kid and he just starts going and you're like, where did that come from? Like he's good for one of those every once in a while.
Every time I see him on the football sidelines and something bad happens on the field, he's almost so quick to turn his back to it and just kind of look down as if like he's processing what just happened. He's trying not to lose it.
Yeah.
But then in the locker room, I don't know if it's just like that's where it all unleashes or what, or because I've never seen him out of character, but I'm not around him like you guys are.
Well, he's a psychology teacher, so he's got all these mind games that he plays with you, and so you just never know what you're going to get from him.
Yeah, he's definitely a cerebral one, and I love that about him because he's always been a straight shooter with me. When I've asked him for comments about this athlete or this player or whatnot, and game preparation, things like that. What are you gonna miss the most about him once he's finally said, "Hey, that's it for me. I'm gonna hang it up and be done."
He does a lot. I mean, like if something's broke around the school, find Greeny and he's gonna get it fixed. He's gonna get it done. Like there's gonna be some people that are gonna have to step up. Hopefully not me. And do some of that stuff. Like if we need something done, it's Greeny, and he'll go out there. There was a couple years ago where he was out there and he's seeding the field and putting stuff down on the field to try and get the grass to grow. Like there's just so much stuff that he does.
Weather. Hate talking about it, but it's inevitable. You were mentioning before the show that you guys have only had, 2 meets this season where some people have had as many as like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
How do you overcome that? Because it's never going to change,
No. I think you just got to find things at practice to keep the kids engaged. You got to try and do a couple different things. Because if you're just going out there and doing the same thing every single day, the kids are going to get tired of it. We're going to get tired of it. So you got to keep them engaged and just find different things for them to do, because the weather is never going to go away. We should have switched basketball and track season. We had a beautiful winter.
We really did. I was surprised.
We should have done track during the winter and then had basketball now.
Well, I brought this up last week with Coach Ed McNamee, who it was pretty much a classic quote now from him. But I said, I have been a part of the conversation. I know people that have started this conversation where it's like, why don't we take some of the spring sports and just flip them with some of the winter sports or the fall sports? Because, yes, in fall, the weather is only going to get worse. But with spring, you're constantly behind the 8 ball that is the school year.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have extra time to make anything up.
No.
So I said, what if we swapped baseball and softball for boys and girls soccer? And then we swapped tennis with volleyball. Sorry, track didn't come into that conversation because it takes a lot for you guys to not, but obviously you have your share of it.
Yep.
But Ed was like, absolutely not. This is America. Are you crazy?
Yeah.
And I get it. But at the same time, I feel bad for spring sports every time because you guys have only had 2 meets. And then tennis is at the mercy of literally any kind of weather. Baseball, softball, it takes a bit. But who wants to be out there for 7 innings when it's snowing? I mean,
Not
nobody
a lot of people
does.
do.
No. So I think soccer could handle it a little better. And the weather is only going to get better. So if you can manage to go out there and have a soccer match when it's 30 degrees or whatever the cutoff is, and it's in like a light snow, I think that's okay, because you're not going to see that for tennis or softball or baseball. So you might as well try to have them get out as much as they can early, and if they need to make something up, they've got the whole rest of the year to do it. Where with spring sports, you just don't have that luxury. I couldn't imagine going through a whole season and then you get to a state tournament and then you're not crowning a champion because you ran out of time and the weather and whatnot. I mean, that just blows my mind.
Oh, it's crazy. There's been a couple years where it's state track and it's a blizzard and you have no choice but to do it. So have fun.
Yeah. So I'm hoping somebody out there wins some kind of lottery and they say, you know what, I think the Great Falls area needs, because we're centrally located, and of course I'm going to be selfish about it, but I think the Great Falls area needs an indoor sports facility where you can do track and field.
Don and I were just talking about that at practice the other day. All right. You're going to make your money back in about 15 years. So hopefully somebody
not sooner.
Hopefully somebody can hook that up.
But I can say that because when we lived in Sioux Falls, I had a colleague who coached a track and field team that went and had a meet at South Dakota's Jackrabbits indoor facility. And it was amazing. It was like, they've got everything going on in this one place where there's no weather implications whatsoever. And I was like, we need more of this idea in states like Montana.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Well, shout out to everybody in attendance today. We have Linda Morin. Hello. Nice of you to be here. We love having her. And then some of the ladies from Creating Community, the podcast. You can catch once a month. They talk about the Great Falls area. Lovely to have you guys here. So for you guys, tomorrow is now what was going to be Thursday's Crosstown JV meet. Yep. And now it's got Centerville, Belt, and St. Pat's. Is it still just JV, or is it the full slate?
It's full slate.
Full slate.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay. How do you feel about that one?
I'm excited. I mean, we haven't had a track meet in like 17 days or something crazy. So it'll be good to see the kids compete.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to do the sport that we've been expecting to do for like the last couple of weeks and days now. So yeah, I get that. I think, has there ever been any opportunity, I guess I should say, for there to be team bonding stuff that's not on the track and it's not in the gym instead of on the track because of weather, where you're just like, you know what, this week's a wash. Here's what we're going to do to just, stay light and not focus on the negative, which is that we've had to reschedule or cancel yet another track meet. You guys do stuff like that at all?
I think the cross country team does. I think they were up on the 3rd floor playing tag the other day. You just heard a bunch of crazy people running around upstairs screaming, and I think they were up there playing tag. So they do some fun stuff like that. Coach Wilson and I could probably be a little better about having some fun on those kind of days.
I think so. I think anything that you can do to keep it light, because mentally, I mean, you want to talk about mental sports. I think track and field is probably one of the biggest ones next to wrestling and then cross country, because again, you're competing with yourself and your time and your personal best and trying to qualify for state. So when you anticipate, okay, we're going to have a meet Saturday, and then all of a sudden weather happens and you're like, okay, so we're going to have to postpone this, but there's no word when it's going to be rescheduled for. It's just, we'll see how it goes.
Yep.
How do you overcome that mental kind of ding, that you take?
I think you try and find situations in practice where you can make it a little bit more realistic, so it's not just tedious. Okay, technique, here's this, blah blah blah. I think you got to try and ramp it up a little bit. Okay, are we gonna race each other off out of the blocks? Just stuff like that. Just to have quick little fun games would be probably the best thing to do in those kind of situations.
What is underrated the hardest event to do?
It depends on who you ask, but I would say either the 400 or the 800 would be the two toughest. Because the 400 is a full sprint for a lap, and that's tough for kids to do. The 800, I mean, Emerson would have to speak more to that one because I never did that one, but I imagine it's tough. It looks tough.
I just feel like discus is one that's probably very underappreciated as far as its difficulty, because one, there's a whole, like technique as far as the steps and the setup and the execution, but just the way that and what you're throwing.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if that's a popular one.
I'm sure it is. Brady Lewis the other day was freaking out because he was doing something with his hips first, and I was never out in the throw world, so I don't know what he was saying, but I was like, oh yeah, but he was freaking out because his hips were going first and not his arm or something, and it was like, okay, that sounds a lot harder than it looks.
Is there an event that gets like the most hate?
Any middle distance, the 400. Everybody, if you talk to Coach Brady, the 100-meter dash is the easiest thing in the world.
You're just running. That's all you're doing.
Yeah, it's run as fast as you can.
Because I'm thinking about the different track and field events. And for me, if you're an outsider like I am looking in, I think javelin would be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's just like, if I can do this, then, there's an apocalypse and now we're down to there's no more guns and we've only got spears. If I get this down good enough, like, you can count on me.
Yeah.
I will hunt and gather for your tribe.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all the kids have figured out our long, hard sprint days is where they disappear to the javelin. And it's like, where's this kid at? Oh, they're up there at the javelin. Yeah. Okay.
I knew it. I was like, that's a dead ringer for one that the kids sneak off to, and javelin be like, I can throw this further than you. And you do this for like a living.
Yeah.
Like, okay, try it. Shot put, I don't think is very popular because it's just, you're throwing at that point like a cannonball.
Yep.
So it's right up there with discus. Pole vault, I think, is attractive because it provides its own set of challenges, from the approach, the run, and then finding the right pole, and then you have to go over another pole.
It's so technical.
There's a lot of technique to it.
You have to submit your body weight before the year to make sure you're using the right pole, and coaches got to keep up on that. And you're running full speed and you got to stick this big pole in there and then bend it. It's crazy.
How hard is it to teach that? Because when they go over, it's not just them riding this pole over, like you tuck in fetal position, ride this thing. It's your legs go up above your head at some point, and then you're over as if somebody's throwing one of those pool foam noodles over a pole.
Yeah.
I don't even know how you teach that or how you explain that. You're like, watch this video because this explains it.
That was the hardest part when I was coaching the pole vault was, okay, I can get you there. And then when you're upside down and going over, that was the hardest part for me to try and explain was, okay, now your feet are up in the air. Now we got to figure out how to get your body around the pole and down while throwing the pole so you don't knock the pole over.
The best athlete type for that, is that a mental one, or is that like you get dancers because they're familiar with routine?
Gymnasts.
Okay,
really good at that
one. A big one.
When I was coaching, we had a boy that was a gymnast, and he was really good at it.
So when I was still working for the news station, there was a joke that they wanted me as T-man to race one of our other news guys, one from Missoula. And I said, let's just screw that. Let's do pole vault. Like, I'll do it, full costume. And so I was talking with Kylie Henderson. I said, will you teach me how to pole vault?
That's who I coached, was Kylie.
And she said, I don't know if you want those problems. And I said, if you're my coach, I feel very confident in this. She's like, okay, I don't coach. So how good was she as a pole vaulter?
She was good. And that's why I felt bad, because she was getting close to the school record. And I was like, Greenie, you got to find somebody that can get her the school record here. And then, because she had a chance to be really good, and she was really good. So we just needed somebody that could get her over the finish line, because I could get her to a certain point, but I could not get her to where she could have been.
Have you ever seen a pole break?
I don't think I ever saw a pole break, but I did see a couple kids miss the pit before, and that's a scary thought. It's scary to witness.
Wow. Yeah, I couldn't. Oof. Yeah, there's so many scary, terrifying things about the pole vault, especially when you consider weather.
Yeah.
And they'll run through a lot of things. They'll throw through a lot of things. But pole vault, if there's lightning, it's like shutting it down.
Yeah.
We're shutting this thing down right now. And it's almost as if that's in a category of its own for track and field events. Like I said, there's been days dedicated to just getting that event out of the way because it takes so long.
When you go to state, it's always the night before. You got to start the pole because it takes so long. So yeah, you always got to start that the day before.
Why is that one so much longer than, say, a javelin or a shot put or even a high jump? Just
because you're adjusting the height so much, and then you can also move the poles or the standards forward and back depending on where the kid wants them. So then you're moving those. Some kids won't come in to a certain height, so it just kind of depends on that.
Yeah, the first year I was here, there was a Class B and C state at Memorial Stadium, and the Big Fork, I never remember his name, but it was him versus this kid who was like 6'3" or something. I mean, I'm looking up at him, and he was the favorite because he had already signed a commitment to go and be high jump, and I think basketball too at the next level here in Montana. And it got down to a jump off, and the whole meet stopped to watch these two guys try to duel it out. And so I captured the whole thing. It was incredible just to like pan around Memorial and just see everybody clap as they're getting ready to go and do this. And when I submitted the story, I got a call from our guy in Missoula who said, you're lucky that you caught that, because that's a very B and C school thing. The A's and double A's do not have that much, like, I guess, respect for each other to stop what they're doing and witness something like that happen. So what you witnessed was like a 1 in 1,000 kind of occurrence.
Yeah, I've only seen it happen one time in a duel, I think. And I think a girl was going for the school record, and they kind of came on the announcements and said that. So then everybody kind of paid attention to that. But no, I wouldn't say they stop it too often.
It is the hardest one for me to do as far as any kind of coverage, whether it's with the news or with the fan show, because one, it's like a full day's commitment.
Oh, yeah.
And two, I want to be all the places at once. The worst part, though, is that let's say it's a field event where they have 3 throws or 3 shots or whatever it is, and they get it on the first one, and I miss that first one. They're not going to do it 1 more or 2 more times as a courtesy for me, even if nobody's going to know that wasn't the one when I do the highlights later. But it's like, if you miss that one, it's like your whole day's shot.
Yeah.
So I love track and field. I really do. I have a tremendous amount of respect for the athletes, but when it comes to the coverage of it,
I
spread out. I despise it. Yes. And I think you guys actually have it pretty good at Memorial with how close the field events are to the actual track events, because I can't imagine that's the same all over the state.
No, some places are spread out. Butte is pretty good. Their throws are right behind, so that's kind of nice. Missoula's got a really good setup. I like Missoula. Their pole vault's right next to the track. Their jumps are right next to the track. The throws are kind of out there, but
okay. Well, I'm excited to have actual track events now. You guys have gotten 2, so let's get you some more.
Yeah.
Do you know who you want up after you?
Ethan
Young. All right. Well, best of luck tomorrow at the now all-around track meets.
They're calling it the Golden Triangle Classic.
The Golden Triangle Classic. Okay, I will accept that name very much. Well, thank you one more time for Coach Kushin. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And don't go anywhere. We will be right back after this commercial break. The Block Coaches Show is made possible by our proud sponsors. The Burger Bunker, located at 24 5th Street South here in Great Falls and open Monday through Saturday. It's my personal favorite burger in town. I get the Island Burger. Stop in and tell them the Fan Show sent you. Burger Bunker. No frills, just deliciousness for your inner burger lover. Mars of Great Falls, your one-stop shop for a variety of automobile restoration services. Call today at 406-315-2142 or stop in and see Archie yourself at 1224 19th Avenue South. Schulte's 38th Street Store and Coffee House. Family owned and the best chicken in town if you ask me. But don't take my word for it. Stop in and see for yourself at 3800 3rd Avenue South. Russell Country Federal Credit Union, where they believe in helping you and your children achieve financial success and building a better community. They want to be your financial home, so stop in their Great Falls or Fairfield office and get started on your new account today. Mountain West Farm Bureau Insurance, the Eric Dirk Agency, protecting what matters most, local service you can trust, and specializing in home, auto, life, and farm ranch products. You trained them to ball, to hustle, to grind. Now protect their future and your peace of mind. Retirement, life insurance, risk on lock. Doug Mercado with Northwestern Mutual. Protecting what's important, growing for tomorrow. Call Doug. Your game plan starts today. And finally, C.M. Russell Hall of Famer Linda Morin, Rustler Pride. That's right, Rustler Pride. Thank you for being here, Linda. We love having you in attendance. It's always great. Thank you for our audience being here. And welcome, Ethan Young.
Well, thank you.
You can welcome me too. You know, it's just my show. So you are a runner.
I am.
Why?
That's a great question. I spent 2 years sandbagging, and then they caught me in a sprint workout last year, and that's been my bread and butter now.
Can't be doing stuff that you don't think they're watching, man.
I know.
You gotta be careful there. That's how a lot of people get thrown into a lot of stuff. I mean, there's a few movies where it's just like, yeah, I was passionate about this, but then in PE I ran like a 4.640 and been playing football ever since.
Yep.
It's like, gotta be careful, man. I mean, but obviously you love track and field. Is it your first love as sports wise?
Well, back in middle school, I had a little stint where I was a big volleyball player.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
That was the main, but kind of moved past that. Then I enjoyed basketball, but high jump was my big thing for a long time, and didn't really work out. So now I'm a sprinter.
Volleyball. Okay, we're gonna go down this path a little bit here. Were your parents big Top Gun fans?
No, I like got into it because it was summer of 8th grade, and I had this one friend that like got me into it, and then I just kind of been playing a couple tournaments.
My guilty pleasure sport was badminton.
Yeah,
because I didn't have, I don't even know, the attention span or whatever to keep up with tennis. Like, I was just like, this is aggressive, like even aggressive for me. Like, I don't take it that serious. So when I discovered badminton, I was like, wait, so there's this thing called the shuttlecock, and you just hit it, and it kind of goes, and then it falls, and that's the game. They're like, yep. And I was like, sign me up, let's go. So we did that every summer at our family's lake place. We'd have like intense badminton games and tournaments up there. But volleyball, you'd see them at the lake resorts. They'd be out there playing volleyball all the time. Are you mad that they don't have more of like a guy volleyball kind of league here?
I was for a little bit, but I kind of like got past it. There's this club down in Kalispell that they have, and so I'll go and do a tournament with them every year down in Spokane. So that's my like little indulgence for the year.
There you go.
Guilty pleasure, if you will.
Well, if there's ever like a summer volleyball tournament, by one of the beaches or by a lake like Holter or something, I'm definitely gonna give you a call. Be like, hey, come do this. Like we need another one. And at that point, the team will be 2, and we'll be like, okay, find a few more. But
yeah.
So track and field, and obviously you've only had 2 meets in the whole season still ahead of you, but the clock is ticking. So mentally, how do you prepare yourself for what could be and then what might not be, and keeping yourself ready, I guess?
Well, coming into the season, I had really high expectations for myself, and I've kind of had to lower them with the like lesser amount of meets that we've had and all that, and didn't perform very well in the first meet, so that was a bit of a disappointment. And so I'm kind of adjusting the expectations to that, but I'm just still trying to be the best that I can be. A little corny, but it's the truth.
Is it track and field at the next level in your mind, or what's your plans for life after high school?
I want to run track, but I'm kind of like not so sure if that's gonna happen. Like if it does, I'll be ecstatic. But
4 more years of running. What am I doing?
yeah, that is those workouts are gonna be rough if I make it. But if not, I'd be okay just going to college and being a student.
Yeah, I know Jordan Flansburgh at St. Pat's, and he's a 3-sport athlete. He did football, 4-sport, and cross country, which is insane, and then basketball, and then he does track and field. And he just signed with Northern to go and do cross country. And I said to him after, I said, I love you. I'm excited for you. But you know that you just signed on for 4 more years of long distance running, right? He's like, yeah. I said, you had your hand in a few. You could have, pushed for one. And he's like, no, it's just where I need to be. So I guess if that's what you're going to do, that's what you're going to do. Why running?
I just started last year and I was pretty good at it, better than all the other stuff that I did. So, just kind of rolled with it and it's been fun. I like the challenge of it mainly.
What were your almost events?
Well, high jump was one of them. I was pretty big on the the jumps. I was gonna do high jump, long jump, and triple jump, and I wasn't great at those. So sprints now.
Are you one that sneaks off to the javelin throw?
No. I want to throw jab, but they won't let me. I've got too many events as it is. They threw me in the hurdles now, so got to balance those. And
so, how much does it hurt when your knee or shin hits that hurdle?
Well, I haven't had too many close calls. I've clipped it a couple times. One time I hit it with my trail leg knee, and that wasn't great, but it's not too bad. They're pretty. They tip over. It's like
I try not to laugh at certain sporting events, especially when I know that you guys are taking it serious and you guys have trained really hard. But every track meet, without fail, if I'm around and they're doing the different heats of the hurdles, doesn't matter what distance, because you know that when it's like heat 1, 2, and 3, as they get closer to the faster guys, I'll hear, the gun and then tat, 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 tat. And it's just somebody in one of their lanes is clipping every one of them. And then as you get, to the faster ones, you hear it, but it's more spaced out. It's very far and few. Sometimes you don't hear it at all. But every time they do those first couple of heats, it's tat, 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 tat. And you look over and there's some poor guy in lane 4 that's just hitting every single one. And he's keeping up, but he'd be a little faster if he could just get a little higher up. So
yeah.
What's the biggest challenge for you when it comes to running hurdles?
For me, it's actually getting low enough. I find myself going too high over the hurdles and then not being able to strike the ground once I get over them and sprint out of it. So I got to work on jumping a little lower.
I could see timing being a big deal for that. How much time did it take you to get your timing down for an event like hurdles?
Well, in the 110s, I still don't have it down. So the 300s is probably what I'm going to be better at in the hurdles. And that's not super timing oriented because you got all the time in between them. But, I still don't have the timing. My trail leg and I'm a mess.
Do you find that you have to stretch extra when it comes to the foot so that you can kick that thing all the way back and clear, or do you just have to jump enough to clear it even if it's kind of hanging down and you don't have to have that in the back of your mind?
Well, I usually don't think about it and I just jump high enough to where my back foot can kind of do whatever, but I'm supposed to get it, dorsiflexed and over, but it is. Come.
It is what it is. Coach Kushin shaking his head over there man, he's got to get it.
He doesn't hurdle.
Have you tried the pole vault?
Oh, I did. I did as freshman and sophomore year, and the form was not it.
Kushin, how was his form? Oh, so he can't attest.
I was aboard over the bar. I got a picture, and my legs are straight out, and I'm throwing the pole behind. It was pretty atrocious.
I just love the different events and the different styles and techniques and everything for the track and field events. It really takes, I don't know what the elimination process is for you guys when you're going through all right, so here's this whole board of options of things that I could do for spring in the, sport of track and field. And they're like, okay, so there's this, you ride this pole over this bar, but the way that you do it is that at some point your feet are going to be over your head and then you're going to wet noodle yourself over. And then the high jump, it's like that, but there's no pole. So that's just you wet noodling yourself over a bar and making sure that your feet don't clip. And then hurdles, that's where you're trying to clear literal hurdles in your way as you go down the track. And then you can throw a long pointy stick as the javelin. You can throw a cannon-like ball for the shot put. And then there's the discus. Don't really know how to describe that because it's nowhere near anything like Frisbee golf.
Yeah.
So really it's just you're throwing a disc-like thing. But how did you eliminate all of those and then come to running other than, oh, I'm pretty good at it?
Well, I went into pole vault and, I had fun, but it was just really hard.
Like there's a bit more to this.
It was, it was more than I signed up for. And then the discus I tried freshman year, and that was the same thing. I didn't like going over the throws and having to balance the jumps and stuff because I thought I was going to be this amazing high jumper. And then that one, couldn't figure out the form there. It was really just they were all a little too hard for me. And sprints is just, get out and run. So
other than volleyball, is there an alternate universe for Ethan Young where you're doing something else that doesn't even have to be a sport? Was there a hobby that you thought maybe about pursuing, music or theater or anything like that?
Yeah, I play the trumpet, so that could have been it. And then there's a very, very distant future where I'm probably a theater kid, to be honest, but that's pretty far away.
You said the trumpet, and there was a few folks who in their head said a little bit of Monica and then a little bit of Erica, like Mambo number 5. But that's a deep throwback. That's a deep cut. You may or may not get that. So trumpet, yeah, I can respect that. And nothing else though, like hobby wise, like how do you keep yourself busy when you're not running long distances?
I don't really do very much. To be honest, I just kind of hang out. But there was a world where it was long distance. I ran cross, all that. Branch really wanted me to run distance track, I'm pretty sure, but he nah.
Okay. So let's get to know you the way I know Emerson, because him and I are going to have to figure out what to talk about because I've talked to him before. Pre-event rituals. What have you got?
I just kind of wing it. In all
no
honesty.
Superstitions?
Not really.
Wow.
I'm usually too anxious to think about it. I guess that's pre-meet. I get super anxious and then I get in the blocks and it goes away. But
do energy drinks help you run at all any faster? Have you tried it?
I don't want to sound uppity, but I only drink water, milk, and orange juice.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. I didn't know you were Drew Etcheberry, but hey, he's been soda free for 4 years. So I guess
not to brag, but I've been soda free my whole life.
Oh, and there it is. The rivalry within the rivalry. No, I think that's great. You guys are being very health conscious. Okay, so no superstitions, no rituals. What about, because we've been talking a lot of baseball, obviously, both with the softball teams and the baseball teams. Is there a sunflower seed equivalent for track and field athletes?
I mean, a lot of them eat candy, which is probably the best, but I see a lot of Nerds gummy clusters, sweet tart ropes.
I could see
a lot
those.
of that.
Yeah. Grab a handful and go.
There's probably maybe popcorn. I've seen popcorn a couple times.
Okay, popcorn, Nerds gummy clusters. Yeah. That's all pretty on brand. Are you an Xbox or PlayStation guy?
Xbox.
Okay, what's the game?
Destiny 2.
Destiny 2.
Yes, that
all
was
right.
Spent a lot of my life on that game.
I thought you were going to say Rocket League. We've had a lot of Rocket League.
I have played some Rocket League.
Okay.
And Siege.
And
the two mainstream. Destiny though, that's my baby.
Okay.
I don't know what it is in hours, but 280 some, or no.
You don't have to be exact if you don't want to be.
It's a lot. It's a lot of time spent. A lot of days spent in that game.
This spring, I'm going to be going around to the different teams at the different schools, and we're going to be doing a throwback edition of, guess what this is, or can you name this thing? Because 2026 is the class. We're looking back at 2006 to see what was popular back then. And there's a few things that I've had to find and scavenge for. But one thing that I've been asking is, if you hear the phrase "you've got mail," do you know what that's from?
I think of Blue's Clues.
No. That is the wrong answer.
That's what I think of.
Okay, all right. So we're already off to a great start with that. Can't wait to do more of that stuff later. What is the end-all be-all GOAT Gatorade flavor?
Gonna be honest again. Not a huge fan of Gatorade.
Oh, that's right. Well, I thought maybe that might fall into like that gray area. Like it's not water, but it's not, the soda. So.
Yeah, I can say I've choked down on the when I come back to the bench after basketball. Randy gives me some blue flavor, and that's not too bad. So
some blue flavor.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I will accept that. And then, are you a truck or a car guy?
I like cars. Trucks are just too much machine for me.
You live in Montana, you know that, right?
Yeah, I'm not very country at heart.
Oh, okay, that's fair enough because neither am I. But we're on real country,
Yeah.
so I guess we kind of have to be a little bit. What's the dream car?
Oh, I like my car.
What's your car?
I have a 2005 Toyota Avalon that I got from my grandma.
Toyota Avalon.
I like my
Wow.
car. It's fast. It's very spacious.
I inherited a Buick. What was it? I drive a Buick Encore now, but it was a Buick something, a very grandma car from my grandma. So yeah, it was a great vehicle, just not a very mean car. So
Actually,
You
a
got
Volkswagen Beetle.
There you
That
go.
is what I want to drive. I want a Beetle.
the new-ish
old.
or the old?
Old.
Okay.
Yes.
I like that. very
Everyone
much.
says I won't fit, but I'm
Okay.
holding that hope.
All right, last one. Who's your ride or die on the team?
Emerson.
Okay. Well,
it's
guess
Emerson.
what? He's up next. Thank you so much, Ethan Young. I
Thank you.
appreciate your time, man. Don't go anywhere. We will be back with Emerson after this commercial break.
The Block Coaches Show is made possible by our proud sponsors. The Burger Bunker, located at 24 5th Street South here in Great Falls and open Monday through Saturday. It's my personal favorite burger in town. I get the Island Burger. Stop in and tell them the Fan Show sent you. Burger Bunker, no frills, just deliciousness for your inner burger lover. Mars of Great Falls, your one-stop shop for a variety of automobile restoration services. Call today at 406-315-2142 or stop in and see Archie yourself at 1224 19th Avenue South. Schulte's 38th Street Store and Coffee House. Family owned and the best chicken in town if you ask me. But don't take my word for it. Stop in and see for yourself at 3800 3rd Avenue South. Russell Country Federal Credit Union, where they believe in helping you and your children achieve financial success and building a better community. They want to be your financial home, so stop in their Great Falls or Fairfield office and get started on your new account today. Mountain West Farm Bureau Insurance, the Eric Dirk Agency, protecting what matters most, local service you can trust, and specializing in home, auto, life, and farm ranch products. You trained them to ball, to hustle, to grind. Now protect their future and your peace of mind. Retirement, life insurance, risk on lock. Doug Mercado with Northwestern Mutual. Protecting what's important, growing for tomorrow. Call Doug. Your game plan starts today. And finally, CM Russell Hall of Famer Linda Morin, Rustler Pride.
All right, and we are back, and you are Emerson, not Ethan. But welcome, Emerson, to help close us down. CMR Track and Field Team on the Coaches Show at the Block. Can also be heard on Real Country 104. And man, that was a great time with Ethan. I got to know your ride or die. Maybe not your ride or die, but he seems to believe that. So is he your ride or die?
Yeah, I think so.
You think so? All right, that's good. And then you're like, he's probably got to go play volleyball somewhere. So you don't subscribe to his volleyball fandom? No? Nope. Well, Emerson, I've talked to a few times before. Great young man, great personality. He is Your Highness of Hot Wheels and the Sultan of Sneakers. I don't know. Those are the only two I've got. But you have a couple of collection hobbies. How have those collections grown since last time we spoke?
I mean, I haven't gotten any new Hot Wheels in a while. I don't really have a lot of spending money right now, but I did get a few new pairs of running shoes. Not too many, just casual ones though.
Casual ones. Okay. Well, you've got graduation coming up, obviously. So where are Hot Wheels and Jordans on your request list for grad gifts?
I'd say probably Jordan's on the top. Hot Wheels, I can get those. I can hit up targets and stuff when I'm in college, but
And I love that your internal, I guess, index is just so on point that you can look at a Hot Wheel and be like, yeah, I've already got it.
Mhm.
Wow, that's impressive. Did we talk about what your favorite? Yes, the white pair of Jordans,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Have you gotten a new pair that is your new favorite, or one that's comparable, close?
I have a pair of Jordan 11 highs that I like.
Did you wear Jordans to prom?
I did not. I wore a pair. I
Oh,
wore a pair of Nike foam posits.
I was like, if I know anybody that's gonna wear not shoes, not dress shoes to prom, it's gonna be Emerson. He's gonna wear Jordans. Didn't, dang it! I would have lost a bet to myself, man. All right. Well, track and field season is here. Do you prefer cross country or track and field?
I don't know. I think I like the vibes more of cross country, but racing track is a lot more fun.
What is it about it that makes it more fun?
It's faster.
I could see that. I mean, you guys are out in the elements regardless, whether it's one or the other. I thought maybe you'd say cross country because of the scenery, but I also feel like there might be something that's a bit easier mentally as far as running if it's the same, if it's repetitious, right? Is that fair assessment, or am I way off base?
Yeah, I think it's easier to just like focus on splits and stuff.
Okay. How do you know if you're doing well or not in a race during track?
Well, you get your 400 splits up on the clock usually, and then you get a coach at 200 meters too. So it's easy to see if you're off or not.
I hear those coaches yelling for the long distance runs. Do you actually hear that? You actually hear your coach yelling at you,
Yeah.
like what the time is, and where you're
Especially
at?
Branch. Too.
What is your favorite thing about Greeny?
Favorite thing about Greeny, just like how much he loves the team. You know, he puts in a lot of time and effort into it.
Yeah, he does. I don't think he's a coach that any are like his second favorite. I think he's pretty all in, on everything he does, football, track and field. And I know he focuses a lot on the jumps, the high jump and whatnot. But there is a pretty good guy to be leading you through the track and field season. What's the one thing that you've taken away from his coaching?
Just being a dog, just putting in as much effort as you can.
Has he ever tried to convince you to play football?
Mm-mm.
No?
Nope.
He looks at you and he's like, probably not football. Like,
Yeah.
You can stick to your cross country.
He looks at Ethan's height, but not as tall as him.
Oh man. I'm like, but you can, like, you've got endurance, like not sprint, but obviously, if you can run, then you can run up and down a 100-yard field all game long and not be winded at the end of each play. So I see benefit there, but that's just me. What is it about track and field that's the most challenging for you, looking back at your high school and however back your career goes? Like, what's been the toughest thing to overcome?
Comparison, I think.
You to yourself or somebody else?
Other people. Because on a track, everything's usually standardized, but on cross country, course could be short, could have different weather, different hills, and stuff like that.
Who's the runner to beat in track and field for you? Like, is there a white whale you have out there that you're like, that I got to beat him?
Owen Thiel from Glacier.
Really? Does
Yeah.
Owen know this?
Probably not. I mean, he knows a lot of people around his heels, though.
Yeah. What is he? Does he do anything better or different than you that makes him that one to beat?
I don't. I mean, I don't know exactly how his training goes, but yeah, I don't know.
Okay. You ever called his coach and be like, "Hey, look, you don't know me, but I really want to beat your guy. What are you guys doing up there?"
I have not done that.
There was a time when I covered arena football, and there's different techniques for journalists to find out information, right? And one thing I learned very early was if you wanted to find out something, whether it was true or false, and who was handling certain things at the highest levels of a team, follow the money to see if it's true or false, and then who's handling it. And so anytime there was a rumor about a new team coming up, I would call the arena that they were supposed to play at. And I would say, hey, I'm so-and-so. I own a local business here in town. I heard this might be happening. I would love to take advantage of some advertising. Like, who would I talk to? And sometimes I get, yeah, we don't have any information on that. And then others be like, oh, let me go ahead and put you in touch with so-and-so. Be like, bingo, got it. Okay, click. So I'm just saying that there are ways that you can find out things without being like super shady, but I don't recommend it. So
I mean, I could stalk his Strava, but
what's your favorite thing about Coach Kushin?
Coach Kushin, I don't know. He cares about the 4x4, trying to figure out different pieces, see what works and what doesn't. I know we've had that problem in the past. Is just sticking with pieces that don't work, and he's willing to try new things.
There you go. You got to be willing to try new things. What is the event that almost was for you in track and field?
The Open 4. I mean, I still could do it this season. I don't know if I will, but yeah.
But did you dabble in like javelin or shot put or pole vault? None of that.
No.
Wow. I'm impressed. Is that like a practice of self-restraint and self-discipline?
No, I don't know. I just really like the distance running.
Okay. And you've never wanted to see yourself in a 100-yard dash?
Mm-mm.
Wow. I'm curious, though, to see how you would fare running against some of your fastest guys. I think that's something that they should shake up a little bit. Like you guys have the fat guy run, at the end of Crosstown, which I think is a great event. But I think there should be an opportunity at some point in the season where you guys can try and, put your mouth to the test, essentially, and be like, I bet I could beat you in a race. Okay, well, here's a chance to prove it. And we'll see like just how good you are. I would probably get lost in that. I would want to try everything. I'd be like, I bet I can out vault you or whatever the term is, or out throw you for javelin. And then I get embarrassed because I couldn't. But I mean, that's the kind of smack talk we need around here between the two schools. So is there an alternate universe for you where you're not long distance running, but there was a hobby that maybe you could have pursued more serious?
I played baseball up through middle school, so.
So how tempting was that? We have it now. Was there a moment where you're like,
No, since I've been in high school, it's been running.
Wow, man. Because I've been talking to the guys from both teams, and they said that there's just something special about wearing school colors playing baseball. And so I imagine if you loved baseball or even liked it a lot at some point, there would be a little bit of temptation there to be like, well, if I've only got 1 year to do it, but you have running in your future. Congratulations, Idaho Vandals, sir. Good job. How did you land on Idaho?
I did go on a campus visit back in March, and I met with the coach, and his goals just aligned really well with mine. Like not just my own personal goals, but like as a team too.
Okay. So you're okay with running 4 more years?
Mm-hmm. Oh, of course I am.
You and Jordan Flansburgh get along great. For life after college, though, like what degree? Because that's got to align a little bit too, right? Like not just the coaching and the culture, but hey, what am I going to be doing school-wise when I'm not running? So how does that play out for Idaho?
Very well. They have a very good engineering program. So
Engineer Emerson. Okay, man, I see that. So what kind of engineering? I know an engineer who's a literal rocket scientist. He was the lead engineer for the Artemis 2 that just did a thing around the moon. That's my flex, but like, are you those heights? No,
just mechanical engineering.
Okay,
like the way things move and work together.
So mentally, I imagine that there's a lot going on when you're running, and so that kind of plays into why you want to be an engineer. What's the walk me through a race with you. What are you thinking about? What are you trying to not think about?
You try to not think about how much it hurts, obviously. But yeah, usually like if I was running a 1600, first 400, it would just be getting out quick, settling in, and you like the time you hit 400, you're not going to be too tired, and then you want to keep that pace for the second lap.
Yeah.
And then you hit 800, and then the third lap is you're going to start slowing down. That's when you're going to start feeling it. So you gotta lock in there, and you gotta accelerate a little bit, and then the last one obviously is gonna be your kick. So
Ethan talked about adjusting his personal goals with only 2 meets under your guys' belt for the season. Have you had to adjust do you adjust yours?
Not usually. I mean, since my freshman year, my goals been to win state and take down the school records, and I mean, I still think I can do it this season.
Well, I know that you don't dabble in a lot of the other events, but obviously being the tenured athlete that you are and running, what does it take to impress you? Like when you look at the others coming up the ranks, sophomore, juniors, even freshmen, like who's impressed you, track and field or just running wise?
We have a few sophomores this year, Carson and Alex, and their work ethic. They really just want to get better. They look up to me, and they want to do the things that I do. And I think that impresses me.
Is that something that you expected to happen, or is that kind of a role that you've had to fall into and be like, I can't screw up now. I got people watching me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they've really affected my goals too much, but I don't know. Yeah, I didn't really expect them.
Well, I think Idaho will be good for you. It'll be a lot of fun. I'm trying to remember how close you are to Coeur d'Alene, but if you're ever up for just running with scenery, Coeur d'Alene's a beautiful spot. They got a lot of trails up there.
Yep.
But you, and then there's a girl that's going to go play softball in Spokane. So I got a few reasons to start heading that way. Abby McDonald's at Eastern, doing track and field. She's loving it there. So I think a lot of you guys that have committed to your respective sports and found good homes, I think you're going to thrive and love it there. I don't know much about Idaho as far as the college. I know a lot about the state because I have to go through there to get from one place to the other and spend a lot of time there. But Priest Lake, that's going to be a place you want to go. Gorgeous. And then let's see, anything else? I mean, they're famous for potatoes, but really that's about it. So yeah, just stick to Coeur d'Alene. Hayden Lake's another good one. There's celebrities with property there. And then, Priest Lake. But I think you're going to have a hell of a college career. I really do. And it's been an honor and a privilege to get to know you. Sad that you're graduating, but, man, I'm wishing you all the best. Thank you so much. Emerson Hamma, my man, thank you. All right, folks. So next week, I've been told that we did confirm Great Falls High Tennis will be here. And then I believe the week after that, Great Falls Fury, the lacrosse team. So we're going to try to get around to literally everybody before we start looping back around. May is already here, or going to be here at the end of the week. And then we start talking about postseason and state tournaments and all that. So we'll see who's where and who we can get back to talk about that. But as always, keep an eye on the Facebook and the Instagram for me and the block, the F.A.N show. And you can catch us every time, Monday, 6:30 right here, live at the block. We're streaming on YouTube and Facebook. And then the replay, 7 p.m. on Real Country 104. So for CMR Track and Field, for Ethan Emerson, I am the team man, Richard Teeman. We will see you guys next time.